Hello, friends. If you are new, welcome. If you are a fan or a subscriber, welcome back. I really do appreciate the patronage. Today, I'm going to be talking about Jehovah's Witnesses and the 1914 failed prophecy. Not much else I need to say, so let's get on with the video. Watchtower claims to have accurately predicted that 1914 was the start of the end times. But was that really the prediction? And Watchtower is tricky. They involve themselves in revisionist history, meaning they will lie right out of their butts. In the July 15, 1894, Zion's Watchtower, they wrote, quote, "But bear in mind that the end of 1914 is not the date for the beginning, but for the end of the time of trouble." End quote. For those needing a translation, Russell claimed 1914 would be the end of the world. In a 2016 documentary, Samuel Hurd said, quote, "In 1914, the Bible students were not exactly sure what was going to happen," end quote. This is simply not true. Consider the following quote: "The deliverance of the saints must take place sometime before 1914 is manifest. Thy Kingdom Come, 1911 edition, page 228. Also, quote, "We consider it an established truth that the final end of the kingdoms of this world and the full establishment of the kingdom of God will be accomplished near the end of AD 1914. End quote. The time is at hand, published 1889, the 1911 edition, page 99. Sounds to me like they were pretty definite. Early followers were convinced that 1914 was the end, just as much as witnesses today are convinced that Armageddon can come at any time. For JWs today, 1914 marked the end of the Gentile times, Jesus started ruling in heaven, and the last days began. The current understanding is much different than the original teaching. Prior to 1914, Watchtower believed that the last days began in 1799. Jesus' presence started in 1874. Jesus started ruling in heaven in 1878, and the Gentile times would end in 1914. This would result in the end of Armageddon and the beginning of the earthly paradise. Watchtower has had to continually change this doctrine over the years because history has falsified the original teaching. Today, JWs believe that Watchtower accurately foretold 1914, and they know nothing about what was said prior to 1914. Why? Because the Watchtower has told them to throw out all old literature. After the 1911 edition, the quote in "The time is at hand" was changed to give an additional year. AD 1914 was changed to AD 1915. Russell insisted that Jesus' invisible presence started in 1874 and he began ruling in 1878. Russell initially followed Nelson Barber, but in June 1879, Russell began publishing Zion's Watchtower and Herald of Christ's Presence, and he incorporated his own religion as Zion's Watchtower Tract Society. However, he still taught Nelson's teachings. He taught that in 1914 the preaching work would end, all other religions would end, all governments would be destroyed, The Great Tribulation would end, Armageddon would be finished, Russell and his followers would go to heaven, Jesus' kingdom would be established as paradise earth, and the resurrection would start. Prior to 1914, studies in the scriptures, Thy Kingdom Come, specified what would happen in 1914, stating, quote, that the deliverance of the saints must take place sometime before 1914 is manifest, end quote. From the 1915 edition onward, this quote was changed to, quote, that the deliverance of the saints must take place very soon after 1914 is manifest, end quote. This quote can be found on page 228 of all editions of Thy Kingdom Come. Well, friends, we've come to the end of another episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you would like to know when I come out with new videos, please hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description, along with the source that I used for this episode. If you wish to support this channel, you may do so on my PayPal link. Question everything and never be afraid. Here are some videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, goodbye.